If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to MMOXP.com. There will be a link in the description. They are the cheapest and safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for a 5% discount. Well, another 24 hours has gone by, and the Maradona debate is not settling down whatsoever. It was really getting discussed again today. This tweet was kind of going viral because it's more of a, it's probably the biggest creator. And I don't even know if this is a creator. It's mainly just like a Twitter kind of guy with 20K followers. So obviously he's got a big audience, and he kind of laid into his opinion about the free card stuff, and he's not a fan of it. And we'll read the tweet, of course, and talk about it. But if you guys have not seen, actually, we do now know this Maradona free card is actually not going to be a club member reward. It's going to be like a normal Evo. It's going to be a free Evo up until a certain point, and then you have to spend coins or FC points on it, like the Team of the Year Blueprint Evo or any of the paid Evos that are out there, right? I use the Blueprint as an example because I think FUT Agent said it's going to be similar in price to that. But anyway, the point is it won't be a club member Evo, which I'm actually kind of happy to see that. I know club members won't be, but I think rewarding your hardcore fans, I don't think personally that the club member status is the best way to do that. It's more of a FOMO tactic than anything. But okay, anyway, let's read the tweet and then we'll kind of discuss each bullet point and discuss the whole thing, I guess. So, okay, unpopular opinion, which I'm actually all for unpopular opinions, by the way. I love unpopular opinions. I love talking about them because I think all opinions are worthy of chatting about. I mean, 99.99%, but we won't talk about those 0.01% of opinions. Cards like these should not be free. It destroys the game. You should have to earn your ultimate team and improve it with your own work. Everyone playing the same players because of free cards, which is boring. I think he just means that, yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's not good. I don't spend money into FC, but I did spend a lot of time into getting Team of the Years. Wasted time now if I can play this Maradona instead of Palmer. Okay, let's continue down here with this next tweet. The last thing I want to add, everyone can get a great team without spending money. No 500k coins for Team of the Year Blueprint Evo. Shame. Play more rivals or champs. You didn't deserve it. You weren't playing the weekend for your Future Stars Academy player. It's your own fault. You want great cards? Then play. Not enough coins to buy Team of the Year Palmer? Try to improve. Get better ranks and champs. Nothing is for free in this nothing is for free in this live. I think it's just probably broken English. Nothing is for free in this life, of course. Okay, and if you're wondering why I'm talking about this now and not on my main channel, it's because I was going to talk about this probably for like 20 minutes, and I didn't want to have to make my daily video be 30 minutes long. So anyway, okay, so where do we begin with this? I guess, you know what? We'll start with this. Let's get existential. You know, what are we here playing this game for? I think that's probably where this disagreement is going to come in. I think that there are some people that play this and think of this way more as a job than I think I personally do or some of us do. You know, he's basically sort of offended in a way that you are going to not have to work for your card. And we'll get into that in a sec, but he says down here when he's replying to somebody, Junior, who says exactly what I said in another post and was massacred for it. These handouts ruin the purpose of Ultimate Team. It's also boring as fuck facing the same OP free card everyone has, but kids these days want everything easy at hand. Kids these days don't want to work for anything anymore, says Fendi Merlin. I do agree there needs to be a certain level of progression and working up towards things. I totally agree with that. You have to have that to a certain level, otherwise, you know, everything free all the time for everybody. You don't want that. You don't want 30 free cards a month, of course. Like that would be literally, it would be game breaking. But we're talking about one position player in your team. Counting Zidane, then you have two. And if you're not rocking Zidane in your team anymore, which I would say there's a great chunk of people who aren't even rocking Zidane anymore because they're either bored of him or whatever. If you're not rocking Zidane and you're rocking Maradona, you have one player out of 11 in your team that you got for free. And it's one of the best players of all time. You get to have fun using him. If everybody else is using him and that makes it unfun to you, you don't have to use him if that takes the fun away. I find it so hard to believe this is the hill we're dying on. But this is where I wanted to get existential because sometimes I think we forget we're supposed to be having fun. We're playing FC and video games in general, but you know, if we're playing FC, the community ourselves, we're playing FC because we probably love the sport and because we want to break from our fucking lives. You know, our lives oftentimes can be hard, stressful, shitty. We're here to like not have to deal with that. We take video games as an escape from that stuff because they can be a fuck ton of fun. And I think that I don't know where this disconnect came in. Well, I kind of do. It's not even really Fendi Merlin's fault. EA do like the idea of making this a job. They like the FOMO in there. That's all the FOMO is, right? If people think of this as a job and they need to come back every single day and stuff, then EA love that idea. So I think that's where I struggle myself with. Not to whataboutism of all the things for us to complain about right now. You guys know know, I'm like one of the biggest complainers, you know, that you're gonna find. Like, I've been criticized for that a ton, and I try and be as objective as I can be. If I end up criticizing a lot, then I can't do anything more. I try to be objective. If it ends up where I end up on the wrong side of EA, then that's where it ends up, right? But if I end up on this is okay, actually, then that's where I end up too. And just imagine being a player who's been playing off and on FIFA since maybe FIFA 15. They've never gotten to use Maradona in FIFA because they work a lot. They have basically no chance of affording Maradona. They have no chance of affording him, and now they're able to play with him, one of the best players of all time in a game that is supposed to be about fun. And that's like where we're now at the point where it literally is destroying the game. I think it's just a fundamental disagreement on what this game is for, like what FC and Ultimate Team even is for. This, a free Maradona that the dad who got home for the last 10 years and wanted to hop on FC for a few hours a day has never been able to get this card ever once, and EA are like, here you go, you can have it. And that's where we're like, Jesus, we're done. I'm done. The game's ruined. I understand you can find some problems in like giving free cards out, but man, I have such a hard time at all having a problem with this until it gets to a point where you get 4 a month. Like, that would probably be the point where it's like, okay, now we're getting pretty ridiculous. One every couple months, and it's a new icon added in that if they added it and they didn't give us this free version, they'd also complain because it's like, okay, you add Maradona, but what's the point? We can't afford him anyway. This is when I'm like, okay, we actually, maybe EA really can't win. You know, certain players will just simply never be happy. And this can be nuanced as well. I actually enjoy people who play the game and criticize it because you can do both. I genuinely believe that you can do both. But to sit here and say, oh, people don't want to work for anything anymore, so they just are okay with free handouts. If that's what this is, 1 card in our starting 11, now adding Zidane, maybe you could say 2 if people are still using Zidane. If there's 2 in our starting 11, at worst, because some will be 0, some will be 1, some will be 2. So at worst, 2 in our starting 11, while there are 9 other spots in our teams that we have to improve ourselves and coin balances and trading and all this shit to get it up. That's where it's like, even the argument where it's like, I worked hard and now somebody who didn't work hard is like level with me. They're not level with you at all. There's 9 other spots on the field that they have to upgrade as well. And then of course you have the problem where this game obviously isn't just strictly more time equals better. Like, this game is so reliant on pack luck. Somebody can hop in and just open 2 packs and get fucking crazy shit. And of course EA knew users manipulating pack odds potentially. There's no proof of that, but like, you know, it'd be easy to do in the back end a little bit. They might just pack something crazy and they didn't earn that shit, but is that okay? That happens all the time where like someone's gonna get something better than you and open 1 Team of the Year pack, and your Cole Palmer that you're sad now isn't gonna be like the best in the game because people have free Maradona now. You probably cranked through 582 by 20s and somebody opened 1 and got Team of the Year Mbappe. Like, this game isn't correlated directly to time to like your best team. Yes, you do get some guaranteed rewards in there, like the coin guarantees and champs and rivals if you get higher ranks, stuff like that, but by no means is it a 1-by-1 correlation in time spent to how good your team actually is. It's not that, because we're in a fundamentally playing a game. It's a gamble simulator. It's just, it can't be that. And it's like FC points, you know. He says here, like, his logic is like, at least people go working for that money. So like, you worked for the money to then spend FC points, but now we're kind of getting, what's the definition of work? And you know, we're going in just different patterns here that why are we even here in the first place? Why are we talking about this? I totally agree. If we got 5 free cards a month that were Zidane level, we're like, okay, then yeah, there probably isn't a point in grinding anymore. We're here once every 2 months looking at free cards. This Maradona won't be free. This card here is going to be paid. This is going to be paid. It's going to cost like 400,000 coins or 20 bucks, something like that. But according to his logic, if you can't afford it, then like you should have played more, which I actually agree with that to a certain degree, of course, too. It's blowing my mind that this is on everybody's minds right now. Meanwhile, gameplay is fucking ass cheeks. Now, I want to talk about this reply quickly. Brett says here, I know you've been disagreeing with this take on recent vids, but I think his points are pretty fair. Whichever side you're on, it's going to be annoying playing against the same 2 mids for the next few months in 9 out of 10 games. I replied just a couple minutes ago and I said, I agreed that can be annoying for some people. I definitely think it can. But if the only negative is it can be annoying sometimes to see similar teams, and the positive is free fan favorite icon for all, I believe it is firmly a net positive. And the unfortunate thing is that the same team's problem has been a problem for years, and I don't think that'll ever change until we have a fundamental change in game modes. And that's where it's like, you know, do we even, does Fendi Merlin even know about the fundamental actual problem behind similar teams, or is it just like a, I see same team, therefore I'm mad. There's a reason we see the same teams. And yes, Maradona for free is going to make that problem worse in people's minds because they're going to see Maradona a lot. But we're not tackling the actual problem. The actual problem isn't a once every couple months free card. The real problem is like there's nothing else. There's no incentive to use any other teams apart from the most just OP ones you could possibly make because the game modes suck massive balls. You know, that's like the fundamental issues I just feel like are not getting tackled here because I think sometimes we just don't know what they are. And I think that's not like people's faults per se, but I think that's why we need to educate people on like, hey, this is actually the problem. And of course, this is just my opinion, like to keep that in mind here. But I think all these little issues that we have sometimes on Twitter, we bicker back and forth as a community are always so minute and little and don't really matter. We have fundamental issues that are much more important. I think we should discuss more often. I think sometimes people don't because either they don't know about it or like that's kind of scary to like try and actually have massive sort of like reform of the game in a sense, because I think creators mainly don't want to have their status quo change because they're making good money off of this stuff. So sometimes kind of bringing to light the real fundamental problems where it's like the Ultimate Team mode itself has real problems, that sometimes can be, I think, scarier for some people because they don't want to change the status quo. But yeah, no, I'm just talking. And of course, let me know what you guys think. I'm sure there'll be plenty of debate in the comments, and that's what we're here for though. Thank you all for being here and watching. I appreciate you all. I'll see you in just a couple hours. So